Bluetooth hacks are totally a thing in 2026. AI is letting people read your private calendar info. Did Instagram really get hacked? And I have got some security TLDRs today. Welcome to Snubs on Security Episode 6, the first SOS of 2026. I'm Shannon Morse and I am here to give you my caffeinated opinions and spill some tea on all things security. This video is sponsored by DeleteMe. Use the code SNUBS, that's SNUBS, over at joindeleteme.com/Morse code for 20% off your plan when you sign up. More information on that in a bit. Now let's chat about Bluetooth, shall we? So you know how us security nerds have been saying for over a decade how Bluetooth is a vulnerable attack vector. People just laughed and thought, ha, you're just paranoid. Screw you and your old school headphone jack. Well, surprise, surprise, a set of attacks, which were dubbed WhisperPair, targets Google Fast Pair. You have seen Google Fast Pair. It's the feature found on Android phones that lets you pair your Bluetooth headphones or earbuds or whatever to your phone with a really quick little tap and a connect flow. Now, hundreds of millions of devices support Google Fast Pair across all sorts of brands. You've got Sony, JBL, OnePlus, Nothing, Jabra, Google Pixel Buds, Samsung Buds. So researchers at KU Leuven University found out that devices don't properly check whether they are actually in pairing mode before accepting pairing requests, which is a big problem because that's the handshake part of the agreement between two different devices. The pairing mode is supposed to authenticate the two as a match. If a device skips that step and the attacker nearby could initiate the pairing anyways. If an attacker is within Bluetooth range, about like 14 meters or so, they could secretly pair with your headphones, they could play audio through them, mess with the volume, intercept calls, and possibly use the microphone to listen in on your conversations. Worse, this is creepy because some affected devices can be abused for tracking via Google's Find Hub network. Double worse is the fact that this attack can make you vulnerable even if you've never used Android, because an attacker could link an accessory to their own Google account and essentially make it their device in the Find Hub. Your headphones become this little tracking beacon and somebody could follow you around. You, the target, might see a tracking warning eventually, but it could just look like your own device, so some users might not even be clued into the issue and just think it's some kind of glitch. Pixel Buds from Google are fine now. Google also patched the issue for their own products, and Google's also pushing other manufacturers to patch their own products. So if you have Bluetooth fast pairing devices, just make sure that the firmware is up to date. Check for updates routinely. If you aren't using Find My features, disable them entirely and consider using a wired option instead of Bluetooth if, you know, you're at DEF CON or you're in the range or vicinity of a place that might make yourself vulnerable. Bluetooth is a very convenient protocol, but political figures have also said it before. They use wired devices because intelligence briefings have told them Bluetooth is vulnerable to hacks. So yeah, your earbuds can link your call information, you could get rickrolled, maybe even become a tracking device. Anyway, what a great time to be alive, isn't it? Now, we might be really good at decluttering our physical lives, but digital decluttering is important too. So whenever the new year rolls around, I always find myself trying to reorganize my life, my home life, my workspace. I just decluttered my entire studio and it is so clean and so organized now. And also, I like to declutter my digital life too. I tend to prioritize what I can see around me, not my digital footprint, so it ends up being that task I think about in the middle of the night. If your personal data has been floating around the internet for years, you should try DeleteMe, which can do the digital decluttering job for you so you can sleep easy at night. Data broker sites collect and sell personal information like your name, your home address, your phone number, even family details, and that information can end up in the hands of scammers or anybody else who feels like creeping on you. DeleteMe goes through those data broker sites, they search for your data, and they send the opt-out requests and follow-ups for you. They remove that info from the data broker sites. And the best part, in my opinion, is once you set up your account, they just keep on working away at it, which means that you have to do one simple task, and once you're done setting it up, it's a long-term privacy fix. So if you are currently working on a reset year like I am, this is a really, really good way to treat the privacy of your digital life the same way you treat the privacy of your household. Clean out the junk, but let somebody else do the heavy lifting so you can focus on what matters most in your life. I also have a coupon code you can use on any of the plans. Go to joindeleteme.com/Morse code and use the code SNUBS, that's SNUBS, for 20% off. That's a big savings for a product that just keeps on working for you in the long term. And again, that's joindeleteme.com/Morse code, coupon code SNUBS, SNUBS, for 20% off. Huge thank you so much to DeleteMe for sponsoring this video and for being a company I have been a customer of for almost a decade now. Wow, it really is 2026, isn't it? Jeez. Okay, so calendar invites. These should not be malicious, but here we are. Yay! Researchers over at Migo Security found a flaw involving indirect prompt injection in Google Gemini's integration with Google Calendar. This attack has malicious code hidden inside the description field of a calendar invite, sitting like a Trojan horse, if I can. Now, in this case, the prompt injection attack is where somebody sneaks malicious instructions into something that your AI assistant reads, and the AI assistant is triggered by that hidden code. It's indirect, meaning the attacker does not need to message Gemini directly. They just need to put the malicious data somewhere that Gemini might check later on. And in this case, it's a calendar invite. So the attack works like this. The attacker creates a GCal invite. They hide the code in the invite description. It looks like natural language when you read it, so it does not look sus to the human eye. The target receives the invitation, no clicks needed. Target asks Gemini something like, "What's on my calendar for today?" And then Gemini parses the calendar invite and events to answer the question. This triggers the payload when Gemini gets to the malicious invite. So using this attack, Gemini can be tricked into summarizing the target's itinerary, including private events. It could create a new event. It could copy a private meeting summary into a new event description. It could tell the target there's nothing on their calendar, even though there's a malicious invite just chilling there. This may not sound like a big deal for day-to-day users, but if you're in an enterprise environment or an attacker could see proprietary information like meeting titles or summaries, sensitive context like project names. So if you're working on something under an NDA or embargo with secret information, that could open up some problems. Not to mention private health screenings or appointments, legal details could be leaked. The researchers found that even though Gemini is not hacking GCal data, it's using a completely legitimate access point. It was manipulated though to create this unintended issue. So for users, don't accept unsolicited calendar invites. If you use AI assistants at work, ask IT about policies and permissions. Consider disabling AI access to things like calendar data too, or just refuse to use it entirely like I do. Google patched the problem after disclosure from the researchers, but this is a really, really good reminder that AI assistants have the ability to see private information, and if you allow them to, that can open up new and convenient ways for malicious actors to target you. By the way, are you still here? Perfect. You are obviously interested in security and privacy like I am, and I do videos like this all the freaking time. So if you want to stay up to date on cybersecurity from an elder millennial with purple hair and a cat who sometimes likes to be in videos from time to time, then subscribe right now. Did you recently get an unsolicited email from Instagram about a password reset? Did you click anything? Yeah, a ton of Instagram users reported getting password reset emails that they did not request, and naturally everyone assumed Instagram got breached. But Instagram is claiming that there was no breach. They say this was caused by an external party abusing a now fixed issue that lets attackers trigger password reset emails without actually getting into the accounts. Now to me that sounds like a vulnerability was found and somebody took advantage of it, which in essence may not be a data breach but is a security issue that can lead to more severe problems. Now, Instagram posted a statement saying they, quote, fixed an issue that let an external party request password reset emails for some people, but there was no breach in our systems and the accounts are secure. They also told users to ignore those password reset emails. Now, the flaw here did not allow an attacker to log into anyone's accounts, bypass two-factor authentication, or change passwords, but it did trigger a real Instagram reset email for people. So this is a social engineering tactic at its core, because a scammer could use that password reset email to trick you into thinking follow-up emails are real too. They could send malicious password reset dupes, sending you to a fake login page and steal your credentials. Now, at the same time, reports were shared online allegedly claiming that 17.5 million Instagram accounts were exposed on the dark web, including usernames, full names, verified email addresses, phone numbers, user IDs, and location info. This seems to be a large-scale data scrape or an API leak, but it does not seem to include any user passwords. Still, just having access to somebody's sign-up email address or phone number does mean convincing social engineering scams could play out. An attacker does not need your password, they just need to trick you into giving them access by pretending to be Instagram. So if you got one of those password reset emails from Instagram, don't click the reset link unless you actually requested it. Make sure it's unique, and better yet, let your password manager generate an insane password for you. Turn on multi-factor authentication and avoid SMS for 2FA. Check login activity, remove suspicious devices from your logins, and keep an eye out and be on alert for follow-up scams. And lastly, we're almost at the end of this video, but I did want to give you some cybersecurity news TLDRs, just to give you a heads up on anything you might have missed over the holidays and through January. First, Gmail is now hooking up with Gemini AI, even though nobody asked for this collab to happen. Google is adding AI summaries for long email threads, which are free for everyone, plus premium only ask your inbox questions like who was that plumber I talked to in December, smarter email writing and suggested replies, and a new AI inbox feature that highlights important messages and VIPs. Now, Google says it's all done securely, and some features are rolling out to testers first. Alternative email clients do exist though, like Proton, that don't have AI reading your inbox. Project Zero dropped a report showing a Pixel 9 can be hacked with a zero-click vulnerability via malicious audio attachments sent over SMS and RCS, thanks to two chained bugs, one in the Dolby audio decoder and one in a Pixel driver, that can lead to full device compromise. The attack is rather complex. It only works in about 1 in 256 tries, but it is real, and Google did patch it on January 5th, 2026, so update your phone ASAP. OpenAI announced ChatGPT Health, which is a dedicated health chatbot experience that claims stronger protections like encryption and compartmentalization, and they say that your health chats will not be used to train foundation models, but security researchers are raising some big red flags. This is because users can connect medical records, and optionally, they can share data with third-party apps like Apple Health, which creates a messy web where you may lose control of your information once it is shared. The rollout also does not clearly confirm end-to-end encryption, and it's unclear what HIPAA or HIPAA level protections, if any, apply to consumers. Combine that with AI hallucinations, which are common, and hacks like breaches, and experts are basically saying just be extremely cautious before handing over your medical data. Microsoft says Secure Boot could get kind of sketchy in 2026 if you don't patch, because some old Windows UEFI or UEFI Secure Boot certificates from 2011 are expiring mid to late 2026. Now, this bug is called CVE 2026-21265. It can let attackers with local access and high privileges mess with the Secure Boot trust chain and potentially bypass boot integrity. So Microsoft pushed fixes in January 2026 Patch Tuesday to roll out replacement certificates. This is going to affect older legacy Windows and Windows Server versions. Just TLDR, Just patch, ASAP, just do it right now. All right, TLDR, Signal's founder, his name is Moxie Marlinspike. He's building this thing called Confer, an open source AI chatbot that's basically trying to do for AI chats what Signal did for texting, which is real privacy for real people. Confer aims to encrypt your prompts and the AI's replies using stuff like passkeys for encryption keys, confidential computing, trusted execution environments or TEEs, so even the server hosting the AI cannot just casually read your conversations. So it sounds like Marlinspike is leaning into the idea of AI, but developing a secure option. This is really interesting development and something I'm going to be following closely. All right, there's a new super premium home security startup, and what did they name it? Yeah, they called it Sauron. Like the all-seeing eye, the one that's from Lord of the Rings. Cool. The evil one? Yeah. So they just hired a new CEO from Sonos, and despite raising $24 million USD, it's still very much in development, and it likely will not ship to customers until late 2026 at the earliest. Now, Sauron is pitching a tech elite military-grade security system with multi-sensor camera pods, think like tons of cameras, plus possible LiDAR or thermal or radar, AI and computer vision running on servers, and a 24/7 human concierge monitoring staffed by former military and law enforcement. Now, I am incredibly sus, though, because it includes ties to executives behind Flock Safety, those Flock cameras I've been talking about, and Palantir, plus defense tech investors, which also raises the obvious privacy and surveillance state questions, like is there facial recognition, license plate tracking, etc. Just something to keep your eye on. I'm definitely going to be following this. Ma'am, can I buy you a beer? There's this hacktivist named Martha Root who literally deleted 3 white supremacist websites live on stage at the CCC at the Chaos Communication Congress in Germany while dressed as the Pink Power Ranger, which I remember the Pink Power Ranger so well from my childhood. She was my first female crush. The sites, which are called White Date, White Child, and White Deal, are still offline, and Root also scraped and leaked data from White Date, exposing thousands of users and some really bad security hygiene, including location data that could reveal where people live. The admins are calling it cyber terrorism and threatening retaliation, while groups like DDoS Secrets say they have received a huge data set tied to the sites. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Don't forget to check out DeleteMe. The link is right down below. Remember to stay secure out there, and I'll see you next time on my Snubs on security videos. Bye, y'all.